Hey, Olive, Arlo, and Frank. Grandpa in the living room. And today we're in Leviticus chapter 18. First, we're going to look at an exhortation to obedience in life, then the laws of sexual relations, and then at the end, a warning against the abominations of the nations. So remember, this is the beginning of the Jewish nation of Israel, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the rest of us, we're the nations, we're the goyim in Hebrew, or Gentiles, as we say. They say goyim, we say Gentile. Verse 18 starts like this. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and tell them, I am the Lord your God. You must not do as they do in the land of Egypt, where you have been living, and you must not do as they do in the land of Canaan, into which I am about to bring you." So you don't want to be like the people that we left, or they're the people living where we're going. You must not walk in their statutes. Don't follow their laws. You must observe my regulations, and you must be sure to walk in my statutes. I am the Lord your God. So you must keep my statutes and my regulations. Anyone who does so will live by keeping them. I am the Lord. No man is to approach any close relative to have sexual intercourse with her. So, up until the law, people married their cousins, they married their half-sisters, and I don't know if in the very beginning, they married their sisters, like Adam and Eve's kids. They were the only people on the earth, so they were marrying each other, but by this time, the gene pool is sorted out enough that you can't do that anymore. I am the Lord. You must not expose your father's nakedness by having sexual intercourse with your mother. Duh. She is your mother. You must not have intercourse with her. You must not have sexual intercourse with your father's wife. She is your father's nakedness. And we saw in Genesis that Reuben actually did this. It wasn't his mother, but it was one of his father's concubines. You must not have sexual intercourse with your sister, whether she is your father's daughter or your mother's daughter, whether she is born in the same household or born outside it. You must not have sexual intercourse with either of them. You must not expose the nakedness of your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter by having sexual intercourse with them. These were some horny people, because they are your own nakedness. You must not have sexual intercourse with the daughter of your father's wife, born of your father. She is your sister. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but we're going to read the whole Bible. You must not have intercourse with her. You must not have sexual intercourse with your father's sister. She is your father's flesh. You must not have sexual intercourse with your mother's sister, because she is your mother's flesh. You must not expose the nakedness of your father's brother. You must not approach his wife to have sexual intercourse with her. She is your aunt. You must not have sexual intercourse with your daughter-in-law. She is your son's wife. You must not have intercourse with her. You must not have sexual intercourse with your brother's wife. She is your brother's nakedness. You must not have sexual intercourse with both a woman and her daughter. And they don't mean it at the same time. They mean you can't do that to say, date a mom and her daughter at the same time. You must not take as a wife either her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to have intercourse with them. They are closely related to her. It is lewdness. Lewdness means like sexually explicit ickiness, like nasty. You must not take a woman in marriage and then marry her sister as a rival wife while she is still alive to have sexual intercourse with her. That would be a nightmare. You must not approach a woman in her menstrual impurity to have sexual intercourse with her. And we talked about this in the issuances from the bodily fluids a couple chapters ago. You must not have sexual intercourse with the wife of your fellow citizen to become unclean with her. You must not give any of your children as an offering to Molech, so that you do not profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. Now, why would they put that in here? Because these pagan cultures would sacrifice their children as so they'd have better crops, and so the rest of the society would have more children and they'd become more powerful and all this. So you must not give any of your children as an offering to Molech, and he's a god, so that you do not profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. You must not have sexual intercourse with a male as one has sexual intercourse with a woman. It is a detestable act. Now, I'm not going to get into this too much here. People will say, yeah, but it's okay, because in the New Testament, this is in the Old Testament, and Jesus, changed everything. Well, it's in the New Testament too. Not saying anything negative. You're gay, you're gay. You deal with him, not me. I'm not here to judge. Sin is sin. I sin all the time, every day. My sins are just as bad as your sin if you're gay. So, But people that say, well, it's not really biblical. Yeah, it is. It is. You must not have sexual intercourse with any animal to become defiled with it. And a woman must not stand before an animal to have sexual intercourse with it. It is a perversion. And not only was it a perversion back then, it's still a perversion now. Do not defile yourselves with any of these things, for the nations which I am about to drive you out before, it's easy for me to say. For the nations which I am about to drive out before you have been defiled with all these things. So now it's like, yeah, why didn't I tell you this before? Well, I'm telling you now because we're fixing to go to the promised land. And these people are doing it there. So you would think that this would be in the very beginning of this book. But no, it's here because they're getting ready to have this happen. So apparently this wasn't happening in Egypt, where they would have gone like, hey, remember when you were in Egypt and this stuff happened? Don't do it. Now it's closer to the end of the book than the beginning of it. Therefore the land has become unclean, and I have brought the punishment for its iniquity upon it. That's upon the land. So that the land has vomited out its inhabitants. Now the inhabitants are still there. They don't know they've been vomited out, but they will. You yourselves must obey my statutes and my regulations, and must not do any of these abominations, both the native citizen and the resident foreigner in your midst. For the people who were in the land before you have done all these abominations, and the land has become unclean. So do not make the land vomit you out, because you defile it, just as it it has vomited out the nations that were before you. For if anyone does any of these abominations, the persons who do them will be cut off from the midst of their people. You must obey my charge to not practice any of the abominable statutes that have been done before you, so that you do not defile yourselves by them. I am the Lord your God. So next we're going to get into some religious and social regulations. And I will see you then. Peace